You're listening to The Tuesday Club with Sean and Kyle.
Can't see Kyle.
What do you mean you can't see me? Well, it's a great start to a podcast, isn't it? Hello, everybody. It's another Tuesday Club episode with me, Kyle Reese, and Sean Hawley. How's it going, Sean?
All right, thanks. Yeah, sporting my retro Wales jersey because our special guest is wearing a retro shirt. So I've gone 1970s. Never got a chance to wear one as a player. So always love putting it on.
Yeah, we got a very special guest today, and it was his request. We all wear retro jerseys. I don't have one myself, but I do have a new Welsh jersey, so I put that on. Today we've got on the Tuesday Club the lovely Matt Johnson. What's happening, boy?
I'm good. How's it going, lads? You all right?
Yeah, very well, mate. How's it going in London, all right?
Oh, it's okay. I mean, this lockdown is, it's proven to be difficult. At the same time, it's proven to be quite nice at times. The sun is shining today, and we're very lucky to have a garden. So it's been all right so far. How's it going for you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, apart from, like you, the bit of a hair malfunction. I haven't got the lovely straight locks like you. I've got the Mrs. Doubtfire curls, and it grows out. So, as I said on previous podcasts, mate, for those who remember, I probably will look like Leo Sayer when this lockdown is finished. But other than that, good, mate. Bit like you, lucky with a garden, lucky with a bit of a gym, and two teenage boys who were getting me in there. So, apart from the obvious, okay.
Matt, you've been posting a lot on your socials about the growth of the hair and the beard, and I was so proud of you when I seen it the other day. I know you've gone and shaved it and trimmed it all up nice.
I know. The thing is, the idea of it was not practical. So I started. It got really heavy underneath there, and I thought I'd trim it, but I messed it up. I haven't had a beard for like 5 years, and I just overdid it. But I'm going back into my growth. This made me learn a big lesson. The destination wasn't as good as the process of growing it, if you know what I mean. I had the beard, and I was like, man, growing it's the fun part, isn't it? So I've gone back to that stage.
Mate, like you're on TV a lot, and I do my TV bits, and in all seriousness, facial hair and hairstyles, they expect you to look good, don't they? Your image, you're a clean-cut image, you're on TV a lot. If you want to grow a beard or something like that, there's a difficulty of the in-between, isn't it? People say to me, oh, you've only got half a beard on, or you shave, you scruffy so-and-so and that. So you've either got to be one or the other, haven't you?
Do you know what? It's really interesting how everybody's kind of just living their own like ways of how to live your life. So growing a beard or whatever it is, these small things, as you know, in the TV industry, you have that fear of judgment of what people are going to say on Twitter or Instagram or wherever. Because I know in the sporting world as well, especially sports broadcasting, there's lots of guys, and guys aren't shy of voicing their opinion about if you a bit of a scruff or if you've got a bit of dandruff or anything. But I've noticed recently in the last definitely 5 to 6 years is that everybody is living in that fear because of social media now. People are broadcasting every day, and people are really becoming more self-conscious and self-aware because of this fear of judgment. And one of the big things I've noticed throughout this lockdown that we're all in at the moment because of coronavirus, it's I think a lot of people have just gone, sod it. I'm just going to do exactly what I want. And I think you are right. I worry a lot about what people think, and had a really interesting conversation with my girlfriend about it about a couple of weeks ago. Was the beard? Like I wasn't having a beard because I thought that one of my employers wouldn't like it, and in all honesty, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They just want me to do my job. I've just been in this mold of I've only got into certain rooms or certain jobs because of a certain image that I have, which is nonsense. I think it's taken me till 37 to realize my worth as such, and not to sweat the small stuff like growing a beard. It's tiny, but it's an interesting point.
Well, I only get jobs when I've grown a beard, so it's the opposite for me.
There's a reason for that, Kyle.
The last 5 years, obviously, it's not unknown to people. The jobs that I've done, they've all been American TV shows where I've had to have either, like the first time we met, Matt, I had like a massive beard, didn't I?
It was
And
huge. It was massive. Yeah.
That's the only time I've got a job in the last 5 years is when I've had a beer. So, no, it's for presenters and pundits like yourselves on, where the nation sees you and like Sean was saying, you've got to be all clean cut. But for actors, I think we're all just a bunch of scruffy buggers, and really.
Well, you've just got to be whoever you're paid to be. I think that's what's interesting. It's a bit more distracted and separated. So they want you to be a character, which is easy for you then to go into that character. Whereas, and I think TV presenting, and Sean will back me up with this, it's you. It's that fear of judgment. Like if I could just pretend
yourself,
to be you're yourself, really effectively. Yeah, you do. You have to kind of you are kind of broadcasted at that time. You're not completely yourself. And really interestingly, you are that fear of like. So if you played a part and somebody went, "Oh, I hate that outfit," you'd like, "Well, I'm in character. It's costume's fault." But like with us, it's all us. It's all you, and that's the fear.
I was in Japan in October for the World Cup, and there was a group of Welshies in a bar that Shane Williams and I went into, and a guy came over who I knew, and he said, "Look, there's a couple that we're with over there, and she's a big fan of yours on Scrum Fight. Will you go and say hello?" And I said, yeah, of course. So over I went. She was a lovely lady, and she'll listen to this, so she'll know this now. And she said, "Oh, I love you on Scrum 5. I said, "Oh, thanks very much." I said, "I'm so glad you watch, and my job is to just do some analysis. Hopefully you get a better insight to the game. I'm getting all sort of technical." And she's just going, "Yeah," she said, "but can you do me one favor when you're on? Those trousers that you wear, can you keep wearing them?" and I've sort of gone, uh-oh. And her husband's next to her, and I've gone, "What do you mean?" "I really like the tight ones around your waist."
Oh my goodness gracious!
I've not worn them since. I've not, because because as you say, Matt, I'm talking about self-conscious. Blame me, Charlie. So yeah, you've got to be a bit careful, I suppose. We're gonna get a dog bark in here now because Jax, my 1-year-old black lab, despises postmen. And,
really?
Yeah, the postmen are delighted it's lockdown because they don't have to come in. They don't even really have to touch anything. They just drop it and run. So he's going to go nuts.
What a cliche.
It is, isn't it?
It's a beautiful dog, but it's just one big cliche. So, Matt, what have you been up to then, mate? What have you been up to in isolation? What have you been doing?
I've thrown myself into my work. So a part of my job, a major part of my life actually, is to raise awareness for mental health and to try and create platforms and spaces for people to be safe and vulnerable and honest. So my entire purpose over the last 4 or 5 years has been to try and combine my life and my work and my passions, and I'm doing that. So I saw this entire pandemic as an opportunity because obviously people will suffer more than ever because of this imposed lockdown, and I have a great fear of the negative ramifications of this virus towards our mental health. So I've thrown everything into that, really. I've maybe too much at times, because it's all consuming, as you all know. When you mix your life and your work and your passion together, there's not enough hours in the day because you just want to work all the time and there's always something to do. So I've created a directory, a mental health directory for people to go to and use and to access mental health experts during this time, free to use. We've created a mental health journal called the Check-In Journal, which is now free to download as a PDF on the checkin.co. And also I've been doing lives kind of like this with numerous people, trying to normalize the stresses and the mental health conversations around coronavirus. So it's been, for me, very busy. It's very, very busy. And as well, a bit drunken as well, because there's just nothing else to do. Like yesterday, we have just kind of finished by 2 PM and had a couple of margaritas.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great work, Matt. I mean, in normal day-to-day life, it's such a massive issue in all walks of life. I mean, I've experienced a lot of it myself with my job. And just being a husband, a father, a parent, brings about huge amount of pressure and emotion and mental stress. And as blokes, 30, 40 something, like nearly 50 something, then we're quite macho and we egotistical, we keep it to ourselves. But I suppose the message is always now, and it's far more prevalent, the message with people like yourselves advocating it, is to get out there and talk about it and share. And that sort of eases the burden a little bit, even if it's just your mate or somebody you haven't met before saying, do you know what, I'm going through similar things.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a very macho world, especially where your line of work came from. That locker room mentality sticks with you, and that's where the issues are. You have it's the biggest killer of young men, maybe before the coronavirus now, but mental health disorders and suicide is really affecting young men. There was a suicide, there's many in South Wales. There was one at Caerphilly Rugby Club last year, and it's affecting all of us, one way or another. And the fact of the matter is, we all have mental health, we like physical health, and we're all going to have difficult times. It doesn't mean that we're all going to have anxiety or depression or chronic mental illness, but we're all going to get stressed out during exams, or the pressures of being a father, pressures of being a human these days, with like the likes of social media and keeping up with the Joneses, etc., is really affecting us and deeply affecting men. And it's the correlation between not feeling like you will be listened to, or the fear of judgment, and the obvious one, the fear of somebody judging you because you're being vulnerable and seeing vulnerability as a weakness. And like you say, there's so many people out there that want to help. And the one thing that everybody could do, especially guys right now, is to, as you said, talk to somebody. And before this lockdown situation, that was a huge issue, the stigma attached to vulnerability. Yeah. Now, we have families all under one roof. All the family dynamics are all changed. You've got people without purpose. You've got people that aren't going out to collect food or go and do the normal things or to earn money, all these things. And all this this caged mentality is going to affect people. And so, yeah, I've been encouraging this open conversation for men and women across the UK and the world, really, because I genuinely believe the art of conversation and connection is being lost. And that will, I think, in no doubt affect lots of people's mental health, especially right now.
Yeah, my wife works in social care and she's working from home, and it's heightened during this sort of caged atmosphere. You can imagine families with difficulty, shall we say, it's heightened because they're caged up. They're having to spend more time with each other, which isn't probably conducive to the family environment. So it's pretty stressful on the workers as well as those involved. But look, that's great stuff. We want to talk on the Tuesday Club a little bit about your dual passions, your showbiz TV career, but also rugby. I mean, I think the last time I saw you in person, mate, was down in New Zealand, wasn't it? On the Lions tour. You were there with...
What a tour.
Oh, what a tour. Corbs, you were there with Alex Corbisiero, and obviously you're wearing your Hurricane shirt from the 90s, which is great. Look, are you missing the rugby? Because we saw you used to having it on tap to go live or on TV. Are you missing it?
Yeah, I'm missing it desperately, actually. I really am. One of my favourite things to do in the world, as Kyle knows, is go to the rugby and have a good day out. On Mikey Raya, as we call him in Caerphilly. I'm all dayer. But I've talked a lot about what I'm looking forward to, what other people are looking forward to when this all finishes, and I cannot wait to go and see a game. I cannot wait to be surrounded by that energy, and it doesn't matter who's playing either. I just can't wait to just get that atmosphere, have a day out with your mates and friends and family, and as well, just I've been watching the Lions tour. They've been replaying the Lions games on Saturday mornings, and I mean, just watching a live game and you don't know what the score is going to be. Isn't it wonderful how we appreciate something so much when it's gone? And I think sport in general, like as a great unifier, it's in times like these, it shows really what's really important. And in the grand scheme of things, sport, it's a game, and and all that stuff. People's lives are more important. But it's something that we all really need. I desperately need to come together and watch a game. I'd love to go down to Caerphilly and watch a game down there, or the Millennium. I'm gutted that we didn't get to beat Scotland, to be honest. That would have been a great one.
To beat them. We were sure of that.
Yeah, I think we needed the win, didn't we?
Well, we had Hoggy on a couple of weeks ago, and he was pretty sure that they were going to come to Cardiff and do a job on us. But well, I've been in a couple of rugby matches with you. It's always a fun day. But no, I think I'm a bit the same. Every Saturday I have sort of a ritual. Ever since I moved to London and lived up there, wake up in the morning, clean the flat as it was up there, or clean the house here now. Make myself a nice breakfast roll and then sit down and watch whatever sport was on. Could have been anything, football, rugby, Formula One, whatever was on the Saturday. Couple of hours, the missus comes home, and then you got to do chores and stuff like that. But I think I'm definitely missing not just rugby, because we do talk a lot about rugby on the Tuesday Club, but just general sport. I miss it so much, and I know they're doing the reruns. They're doing a good one tomorrow. This is a bit of a plug, really, for BBC. 1:15 tomorrow on BBC One Wales. They play in the 1988 Wales v Scotland game. So if anyone's listening who wants to watch that.
That was a cracker. I think they were wearing these sort of shirts as well back then. Bleddyn Bowen with big, long sleeves and that. But we had Jiffy on a couple of weeks ago, Matt, and he was saying that I think people who love sport, those who don't really, are probably seeing now how important sport is to culture, to lifestyle, to society, whether it be on the TV or live get-togethers. And three of us, we're craving it, aren't we?
100%. It's not to go too back into the depth of mental health, but like the release that people have. I think especially men on the whole that go and watch football, rugby, whatever on the weekend. It's tribalism, yes, but it's a sense of belonging and togetherness. And fun, and as well the respect you have for like these professional rugby players. It's something that kind of gladiatorial thing that's what we have with rugby, especially. And it's sad, yeah, it's absolutely sad. We haven't got that, and you truly do miss it when it's gone.
I tell you what you miss as well, probably, Matt, is going to games like international games and waking up in a hotel bed with like two random actors.
Was that what game was that, Kyle? Was that Ireland or
it was Ireland. It was Ireland. That was
Wales
actually
Island.
The first time me and you met, and we ended up in bed together on the same night. Yeah. So I got lucky.
Cheap date. I remember us calling room service, and the lady bringing it in to see the three of it. It probably smelled terrible as well, that room. Just bringing us our breakfast in the nice three-way that we had that night.
It was brilliant. It was Wales v Ireland, and
Ireland. Yeah,
it was the game where Ireland were absolutely just pushing Wales's defence on the try line, literally for must have been about 12 minutes, just relentless attack, and the whole stadium for about 50 minutes was like, Wales, as they do. And Wales kept them out, and it was like almost scoring 2 tries because the incredible defence. They did and everyone knows how lethal Ireland are when they're around the 5-metre line. They rarely come away with no points. And it was just brilliant. So we were all lifted, and I think we won the game, I think.
I can't remember if we won. I think we did.
I was staying in the Hilton because I was filming in and about Cardiff, and so I went out. And Scott Arthur was our mutual friend. I went to college with Scott. He's a Scarlets boy, and he's like, "Yeah, come meet me for a drink, this and the other." So I sort of went and met them. I was like, "Oh, this is Matt and everyone." And then the next thing I know, it was like I was amongst a group of people, Matt and a couple of his mates, a couple of Scott's friends. And when it was like that international day feeling where you only just met these people, but you feel like you've known them all your life. You're all wearing jerseys or whatever it is. And I just remember in Tiger at God knows what time in the morning going, "Yeah, come on, boys. We'll have a party back in my suite. Come on." I didn't have a suite. I just didn't want to go over. Sleepover, yeah. Scott Arthur and Matt Johnson, 3 in a bed. And I ordered a cooked breakfast in the morning, and the look on the woman's face who brought it in. I was like, adamant, is there 3 black puddings?
I think it's the only way to celebrate a Welsh win now is to go and share a tiny double bed in the Hilton, with two actors. I think that's the only way I want to celebrate from now on, to be honest.
Yeah, I know you played a bit of rugby, but what I want to ask you, and to make our listeners aware, is that we were involved in a really fantastic occasion. It was for a charity called Rugby for Heroes, who I do a bit of work for, and BT Sport picked it up. It was Mike Tyndall, who's the patron of Rugby for Heroes. He put an England team together, and myself and Alan Lamb, Ryan Lamb's dad, we put together Rest of the World, of which I coached, which, just meant getting the beers in, I think. But we had Matt along with a few other TV, film, showbiz celebs to play with the likes of Brad Thorne, Shane Williams, David James against Mike Tyndall and all these legends. Andy Cole was there, Dion Dublin. It was just a brilliant day. So for you, as an aspiring rugby player, Matt, a fan, what was it like in that changing room? And because we had Zinzan Brooke, who was the team manager with me, and to have them in there, AJ Venter, Serge Betts, and what was it like to sort of get on the field and play in amongst all those legends?
I got to tell you, it was one of the best experiences of my entire life. It really genuinely was. I remember just walking in there on the first day and getting our stash, which was the best thing in the world. We got so much gear and t-shirts and trainers and boots and bags and shorts and all the stuff, and you got your name printed on your stuff and your jersey and all that. And then just looking around and like seeing Zinzan Brooke, like one of my rugby heroes, hands down. I got him to sign one of my I collect classic jerseys. This is why I've got loads of these, and especially kind of Kiwi New Zealand jerseys and stuff. And he signed my old Steinlager jersey. And like just looking around, Shane Williams was on my side. I was just like, Justin Marshall. It was just incredible. And I got to say, if you were on the coaching staff, which you were, you put me in the starting lineup. And my friends, right, all the boys from back home, Stefan Sankala, he tweeted me. He's like, "I'd never thought I'd see this." And he was the team sheet. And he was like, Brad Thorne, managed by these great guys, Shane Williams, Matt Johnson. It's just, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. The nerves I had before the game were massive, because when you think about it and you look at Mike Tyndall, he's massive. Like it's just impossible to tackle these guys when you're not a professional rugby player. But as you know, both of you know, when you get out there and get out, it was just. We were at the Stoop in the Harlequins ground. My entire family were there. I know my dad was there, and he's proud. And it was, one of the best experiences of my entire life. And apparently, it was a lot like a Barbarians tour.
Yeah. Where apart from where you all get like a load of £50 notes in your boots, we never got that. That was all for the charity. That's Barbarians. But on the drinking side, it was up there, mate, wasn't it? But I can remember because even what you have to understand is with these sort of invitational games, friendlies, there's no such thing as a friendly. So we had the day before a little team run, and Neil Back was the England coach. And I went along to Neil and I said, look, we should really set some boundaries here. Let's have a little run against each other. And we were just doing a little bit of throwing the ball around, Matt, where we did a couple of backs moves that Justin Marshall was organising, a couple of line-outs that Ryan Jones was organising for the forwards. And I sidled over to Backy and I said, look, let's have a little. And I can remember Shane Byrne, the Irish hooker, the Lions hooker, come up to me and said, there ain't no such thing as grab and touch in this, mate. I said, don't worry, I know, I've been there with this before. I can remember Matt's face distinctly on the night, because I gave a bit of a team talk, and I just talked about the charity and what it meant to people in transition. And it goes back a bit to mental health, because Rugby of Heroes is about the transition from military life to back to Civvy Street, and the pressures and the mental health issues that they have to go with, the servicemen and women. And I just talked about that, and that sort of thing resonates with showbiz guys, going from one role to another, actors to one contract, one TV show, then you're off work. The same as players when they finish, them as coaches when they lose a job or move on, they don't know where their next job is going. So it resonated, and we were also a little bit pumped up. And then Zinzan gives a talk, and I remember seeing Matt's face, and I'm thinking, he looks a little bit worried here, because you're going out, all of them who weren't official professional rugby players, as Matt says, you're going out and playing, and these guys ain't going to hold back. I remember Louis Spence got tackled by Shane Williams in front of the stand.
I was just going to say that. Was that the game that Shane Neal got tackled?
And he got up and squared up to Shane. Hilarious. It's hilarious. But what an experience for all of us. It was fantastic.
It was magical. It was, because, you know, I thought I played my last rugby game probably 10 years before that and all that stuff. And then to be in that situation, and to be in that locker room, to have all those guys, and then have a team talk and get wound up again. I haven't been wound up to do anything. I've got to calm myself down all the time to go on telly. I can't be psyched up. So I was just, it was incredible. I remember tackling, who's the tall England second row?
Simon Shaw.
Simon Shaw. I tackled him. And I did it. I tackled him and probably did it and all that type of stuff. The adrenaline rush that I had, I got up and I nearly ran and jumped into the England the backline defense. I didn't know where I was. I just, because you're in the stoop, I was like, ah! I just got to do it.
Brilliant.
Luckily, I got into the right spot. But one of my favorite things is I tackled Mike Tyndall, and he went off afterwards. And I think it was because of me.
And that's
I smashed him, you know, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure he's still hurting, because it was a big one. But yeah, it was the best. I'm desperate for them to do it again. I'm disappointed they didn't do it for the World Cup last year. But if they did another one, I'm definitely putting my hand throwing my hat into the ring for that.
I remember watching that game, boys. It was a couple of years ago now, and it was for somebody who was then, like, obviously I've had a little bit of, you know, a touch of limelight with Outlander, and nothing to do with me, just because the show was so big, but profiles being raised, very thankful for that. But it was something, as a massive rugby fan and an actor, being like, one day I'd love to play in, because I always watch the football one as well, Soccer Aid, you know, and it just like so much fun. Obviously it's not as rough as the Rugby for Heroes match was, but yeah, obviously on the Tuesday Club, we do talk a lot of rugby, we talk a lot of showbiz, so I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions now, mate.
Okay.
First off, I just want to touch in, you had a little go of acting yourself, didn't you, and Gavin and Stacey, is that right?
Do you know the full story with that?
Yeah, go on.
I was working my butt off trying to get into TV, and I didn't have any work or anything. So I was temping on Newport Road in a place called Land of Leather, which is not a sex shop. It's a leather sofa store. And so I was there, I was temping, and I got a call from my friend Ross, who still is my close friend. He was a third, I do believe, on third assistant director on Gavin and Stacey. And I had no, Ross Cotton, yeah.
Yeah, I know Ross, yeah. Good guy.
Yeah. Good egg. Sorted me right out. He said, look, I've got a week's work for you if you want. I'm working on this new BBC thing. We don't even know what it is. It's comedy, Gavin and Stacey. It's got loads of big stars like Ruth Jones and all that. But our guy that's going to play Stacey's brother's boyfriend, Jose, has got food poisoning. And he's Portuguese and he can't make it. You're the only Spanish-y looking friend that I have. Will you take a photo of yourself and send it to the producer? So I went off to TGI Fridays next door, took a photo of myself in the loo, because I was embarrassed, because that was before selfies were kind of allowed. It was a faux pas. And I got the part. I didn't know how I got the part, and I didn't even know how to act at all. So I did then 2 weeks' work on the now iconic Gavin and Stacey, playing Jose, Stacey's brother's boyfriend.
And that set you up to become Wales' sexiest man a couple of years later, didn't it?
I tell you what,
Portuguese actor, presenter.
I'll do anything. But to be honest, out of all the stuff I've done, and I've done since, and I will do, I think everybody would be more interested in that one tiny, terrible role that I had in Gavin and Stacey.
Do you know what, Sean? Right, another funny story for you. Well, I went to London. Obviously, I moved back from London at this point, and I was going up. He knows already what it is.
I know.
And I've had a call from my agent. Kyle, you got to go up for an advert, a meeting. when you go for commercials, right, they're very well paid commercials nowadays. They're all buyouts. You get a big lumper, so lots of people do them. And they were like, it's a Dairy Lee commercial, right? And they need like 2 sort of knights riding on their horses in this kid's imagination. Great. Go up. Got a couple of hours to kill. Phone Matt. All right, do you want to come for a coffee? Yeah, sound great. Met up. I was like, do you know what? They've cast in 2 parts in here, so blagged Matt into the audition with me for Dairy Lee adverts, right? We go in there now, and I'm like, hi, I'm Kyle, and they're like, this is my friend Matt, he's coming into audition as well.
Get off.
Honest to God, never so unprofessional. It was ridiculous, mate. But it was a laugh.
We didn't get it.
Went in, acted like a bunch of bloody, I don't know, we'll beep that word. But we had a laugh. We didn't get the job.
We didn't get the job, and you missed out a vital part of this story. You came up a day too early for the audition.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
We went to have coffee, and you were like, "All right, I got to go in, do all this thing," and you spoke to your agent. She was like, "It's tomorrow." So you went back home because you had work or something. You came back up to London, and in that time, you managed to blag to get me in there. I'd never been so nervous or worried that I was going to ruin your career, because you never know in these casting rooms. I could have ruined everything for you. Because I'm not a good actor.
I've just got a good memory of me and you sitting on stools in front, and auditions for adverts. There's about 15 people in the room. You got to stand there. You got to show your hands. You got to do profiles.
And I didn't know this, did I? I was like, huh? Oh, agency? My name is Matt.
Well, I want to ask you about another one, Matt. And I must confess, I haven't seen the episode, but you were a celebrity guest on Take Me Out, and I love that show purely because I love human behavior and watching people and people's reactions. What was it like to be on that? No likey, no likey.
It was great, actually. It was a Christmas charity special. So what that means is they shoot the entire series, and then they throw on the end a celeb special. So you've got all the cast, everybody's there, and everybody's ready to party. It's like the rap party and everything. And it was me, Keith Evan, or Lee Francis, Joe Swash, and Paddy. Obviously, Paddy is like a legend, so he's working. But we went to Fernando's, Tenerife, straight away after the rap party, Tenerife. And it was like a stag do. I can't remember. The date in Fernando's is only like 2 hours or something. But the rest of the time, we just had a jolly. It was like, again, one of those things that you do your job, you love your job, you do everything, and there's the odd bonus now and then when you get to do stuff like that. Raise money for charity, come down the love lift or love shaft or whatever it's called. So I think I put Guns N' Roses' "Welcome to the Jungle," and
title for this episode, the Love Shaft one.
And I picked a lovely girl called Charlotte, I think, who is a burlesque dancer, and I saw her for 2 hours, and we lost Joe Swash.
Matt, now I refer you to my jersey behind my shoulder here. This is Scott Gibbs' original first away shirt in the Ospreys 2003, and I know you got a bit of a retro shirt fetish. Tell us about your collection.
I really do. It's getting out of control at the moment as well. So I've been collecting jerseys for probably 10 years. So I got weird collections as it is. So I collect wrestling figures from the 90s. But that's the reason I'm just buying back my childhood, basically, with all that. I'm getting them all in their packaging, in mint condition. But the rugby jersey thing is, like, at the moment, because of lockdown, I'm just scanning eBay for the most recent thing I bought was, I got the old Cardiff jersey, the Nike one. I think Nigel Walker would have made it famous. I used to have that in 1998. It's one of my favorite ones. My favorite, I got two favorites. This is my one favorite because of Christian Cullen. I was a huge Cullen fan back in the day, and we couldn't get these at all back in the day. And they're about 200 quid now. And I managed to get one on eBay for 50 quid. It was one of the best days. And my absolute favorite, one of the best Lions tours ever, is the 1997 tour to South Africa. And I've got that jersey with the Scottish Provident. And and that's my most expensive one. But it's mint condition. I'll probably wear it if we ever go to South Africa next year for the tour. But yeah, this collection, my girlfriend's, we're gonna have like a little outhouse for all of these, because she's not gonna want them on the wall. Like, I'm jealous of the Scott Gibbs one, because I really want to get it mounted. I've got a few signed ones, like I got the one that I wore for Rugby 8 signed. I got my Zinzan Brooks signed one. I got New Zealand squad for the Lions tour in 2017, and the Lions one. So I kind of want to get them mounted like you've got there. But my missus is not going to have it. She's a stylist, so she's all about everything's going to look great. And I'm going to whack a massive Lions thing there. It would be banging. But yeah, it is it's an obsession of mine at the moment. I love it. I really do love it.
I'm the same. I'm a memorabilia freak, and I'm in my office at the moment. But I've got it's a TV room. It's meant to be for the kids. But I got a big screen in there. But I've got a lot of my shirts all over the wall. So maybe the next podcast I'll do it from there, because I know, Kyle, you like your memorabilia as well. You got your Max Boyce disc behind you. But yeah, it's just, and it's memories as well, Matt, as much as anything. You know, I collected all programs, and every event I do, as you know, I host a lot of events and stuff with all these legends. I collect, like, the menu card or the whatever you get. I get the celeb I'm working with to sign it, and I keep them all, because I just think at one time maybe my kids would look back. As much as it's nice for me to keep them, it'd be nice for them to look back on, and maybe grandkids as well. So that's why I do that. But listen, mate, what's next? What's next for Matt Johnson? You're in so much.
Oh.
And another thing, are you sick and tired yet of walking
Someone's
down the street
knocking at the door
and people shouting, "Oh, I haven't won the postcode lottery yet, but..."
You know what? I just want to say something, right? I know we were talking about mental health and all the rest of it. And everyone, it's nice to see people now being nice to each other. And there's an advert on Nationwide, and she says, people are actually mean it now, and they're asking, "How are you?" And I don't know why, but when I see somebody, Sean knows this, because I stuck up for him on a train once when people were hurling abuse at him. Some guy said to you on Twitter something it was quite rude, actually, about that song. And when I saw it, I just... he said something like, I thought it was quite funny, banter, but on social media it goes a bit far. And he said to you, "Someone's knocking at the door." Do you remember? And then followed up with something else. I won't mention it on the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And
It was a meme.
Yeah, that's it.
It was a meme in the last few weeks. The thing is, with any advert, ask Wyn Evans what it's like to be in a popular and Marmite advert. It's. Do you know what? I give money to people, and all the characters that you see in the advert are real people. So we go around the country delivering these big checks to very surprised people, because I think a lot of people think it's a hoax or whatever. They sign up to something and think, "Oh, it's never going to happen," whatever. And we genuinely go. And there was a meme, wasn't it, a couple of weeks ago in the first week of lockdown? It was someone's knocking on the door. Someone, and it was me then knocking on the door, and then somebody opened it saying, "Off, we're in lockdown." And I just thought it was brilliant. And I don't mind that. I like the banter. It shows that you're doing something if you get some people getting annoyed with it. I mean, like, if you're watching TV adverts all the time and it keeps coming on, I can imagine it can kind of get a little bit annoying. But there was one time when I finished the shoot. I can't wear red anywhere anymore, which is probably why I'm not wearing the Welsh jersey now, because I get sung that song everywhere I go. So I'm gonna be remembered. Like, it doesn't matter what I do in the world of mental health. I could find a cure for depression, but I will be remembered for Gavin and Stacey Jose and the guy from the Postcode Lottery advert, and I'm fine with it. I've had my peace with it now. It's absolutely fine. There was one time when I finished the shoot. I was in my red jumper. I was flying to Ibiza on a Saturday evening. So I was at Luton Airport, which is one of the worst ever airports in the entire world. Anyway, but we were delayed in the airport for 3 hours. It was when all the French strikes were happening. And I was in my red jumper. So everybody's tanked up on a Saturday night, flying to Palma, Costa del Sol, Ibiza, singing the song to me. There must have been, if there was 50, there was 200. I have no idea. Everybody was really nice. I got a bit bored of it after an hour. And then luckily, it was time to board the flight. Got onto the flight, onto the EasyJet, sleazy jet. I sat at the back, and it was a gang of lads, back of the bus kind of mentality, singing the song. I was like, all right, lads, okay, fine. We'll get to Ibiza soon, and you can get on with the rest of your life. We were delayed on that plane for 3 hours on the tarmac.
Oh, no.
And it was the only way I got out of them stopping singing the song, because that was their only entertainment, was because I bought my friend 4 massive Galaxy bars, because she lives out in Ibiza and she doesn't have Galaxy bars. And I was just dishing out Galaxy to them. I was like, please, lads, just have some Galaxy. They're like, all right, okay, fine. So that was one of the bad experiences. But when it comes to Twitter, I mean, if you got to kind of brush things off like that, unfortunately. I don't want to stoke the fire with it. I do it a lot when I'm angry, so I know what I'm like if I'm angry. So if somebody's angry to me, they might be angry because of something in their life. I don't want to stamp on that. There must be a reason for that. So I'm trying to be a bit more compassionate towards all that. But now and again, you do get the odd prick, don't you? That's just life, isn't it?
Well, that's what it was. This guy wrote something to you, and you said back, you were very nice. And I was just like, I just felt bad. So I think I chirped at Ben and I just said, off it, who the F are you? Like, but no, I've seen that quite a lot, because you're too nice to people that give you a bit of a ribbon.
It's that saying, isn't it? Kill people with kindness.
Yeah.
And I used to do it. And I think it used to be a tool, like a weapon I had. But now actually doing all these podcasts about mental health, having all these talks, being in like government conversations about, my friend took her own life because of the fear of judgment of social media only recently. So I'm more than aware of the massive stampede herd mentality of what social media does. So all I do now is try to nip it in the bud or ignore it. I often have a couple of drinks, and like what you did, Carl, if somebody picks on Ruth and Eamon, and I'm like, fuck you, and do you know what, it's one of those things. So now knowing why I berate people or chirp or have an argument is usually because I'm not in a good place myself. So I try and be compassionate towards it, because there's this wonderful quote that I was sent by a good friend of mine, and it was, a snowflake never feels responsible for the avalanche, meaning that one person going, oh, I don't like your skirt or your eyes today, is just one person's opinion. But when you have that on multiple occasions on social media, it's that snowball mentality, just builds up and builds up and builds up. So that one person thinking or saying, oh, it's only me and my opinion, what does that matter? You think, yeah, but when you have 1,000 people saying that, you become part of a huge problem. And so I'm just trying to nip it in the bud. But thanks for sticking up for me, Kyle, nevertheless.
Right, man. I might. A lot of people might take the mick out of me. I might seem simple at times. I'm not. But one thing I am is loyal, and I don't like seeing people who I love or I'm friendly with having any sort of targeted harassment or anything. Sean knows, because he took me very kindly up to a hospitality day in Cardiff, and when we were coming home, there was a bunch of I think they were Scarlets fans, and just because he'd coached the Ospreys quite successfully, I might add, they were giving him a bit of jip. And obviously he did take me to his hospitality day. I was tanked up because it was free booze all day, and then I got straight up and I rushed down the aisle. There was about 4 of them, and I was like, oh, don't you bloody say anything to him, I bloody kill you, and all that. And Sean was just sitting there like, just like smiling, and these people next to him were saying, oh, we're so sorry. He's like, I get it all the time, it's fine, you just got to sit. But I'd never been around that. I'd never seen, because he's a face on the TV, you're a face on the TV. I'm not a face of anything. But it's difficult to see firsthand when one of your friends is having abuse in public, just for being on the TV or doing their job. But yeah,
mate, it's outstanding. It's astonishing what people can say, and that's the thing. I think Sean will know, being a sportsman and especially a coach of a club, the level of judgment and abuse is absolutely huge on social media, on the pitch side. People feel as if they can berate and shout at other human beings, and we've all been there and going, oh, bloody Cuthbert knocked it on again, and like shouting. You go, do you know what though? I'm going to leave it at the stadium. I'm not going to, underneath Scrum 5's tweets, go to town on who and what I think. I think that's one of the biggest issues, I think, in our society, and especially if you're on a train and you're getting berated at 2 a.m. or something. It's just not, because that's when things can go wrong.
I think the day of people saying as well, you put yourself in that sort of arena, you have to have thick skin or tough skin to deal with it. But I think the day of saying that is gone. It's just, like you said, it's just not totally needed. People are there doing their jobs. And at the end of the day, we're all human. People make mistakes. Rugby players make mistakes. Presenters make mistakes. Actors make mistakes. The only thing with an actor making a mistake is we can cut that out. You don't really see it. Normally, you two do live TV. So if you make a mistake, then everyone sees it. But you really do, boys, because you're absolute professional, diamond, lovely men.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Go on.
And you're absolutely right. Nobody signs up for abuse. You sign up to do your job and to do it well, and people like it and going to dislike it. That's fine. But nobody signs up to be called names on trains or to be told you're ugly on social media. That's not part of any job, and it shouldn't be. And that's one of the things we just sort out on social media. Maybe Kyle, you can head up the social media police, and you'll be tough love police officer. I know you can have like a virtual truncheon and just batter people who are mean to me.
Mate, I'd do anything for you. You know what? I do anything for you, boys. Anything. Right then, we're coming towards the end now, Matt. It's been brilliant, I wish we could chat all day, but we know you're very busy. So we're going to go on to a couple of questions now that we ask all our guests, going back to the sort of showbiz theme. So the first thing is your top 3 movies of all times, going from number 3 to number 1.
Oh God, it's a difficult question. I'm going to say Life is Beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful war movies I've ever seen. It's very sad, but
never seen that.
Quite like, it's good. It's a brilliant one. Life is Beautiful. I can't remember the lead actor's name. He's fantastic in it. It's about the Holocaust. It's incredible. I'm going to say, can I put a trilogy as one film?
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm going to say Christopher Nolan's Batman. I could watch them every day, all day. I think they're one of the best superhero movies of all time. And my number 1 film of all time, Pulp Fiction.
Oh, great film.
Pulp Fiction. Do you know what? We haven't had any guests with 14 episodes in. Nobody has mentioned a Quentin Tarantino film yet. And,
really?
Yeah, nobody. But that is probably, I think that's his best one. Three top choices. Or 5
It's a difficult question. It's a difficult question.
There's so many, isn't it? There's so many you could pick.
So many, and it depends on your mood and all that type of stuff. But I always think of it like, if it's my favorite film, is it something I could watch every day? If I was stuck on an island and I only had one DVD to play and that was my only form of entertainment, what film would it be? And it would be Pulp Fiction. Because it's like 4 films in one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, Matt. So here's the $1 million question. In the epic that is The Life and Times, Matt Johnson, which actor are you going to choose to play you?
Oh, Kyle?
Oh,
everyone says that.
I've got so much weight to lose to play all these handsome men. Like,
do you know what it is? It's because there's another actor in the room, and it would be rude to say somebody else. It would be the worst thing. I don't mean it. I would pick. I tell you, who would do a. Who? What do you mean?
No, I know one. I want yours first. I know who would play you down to the T.
I don't think they have to be Welsh. Because obviously actors can do different accents, right? Apparently so. I couldn't do Portuguese.
Can do a Welsh accent though.
I think it'd be a great one. And I oh God, I always get told that I look like the Irish actor Colin Farrell. I don't see that now. When I was younger,
you do a bit, yeah.
And from very, 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 very far away, people say that I look like Jake Gyllenhaal, but I can't imagine him doing a Welsh accent, so I'm going to throw Matthew Rhys into the ring.
Oh,
Matthew
could do anything, though, can he? We had him on a few weeks ago as well.
He's outstanding, isn't he? I watched what was it called? The Neighbourhood one with Tom Hanks. Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood.
Yes.
the most recent one, and Matthew Rhys is incredible in it. He's like going to be he's like, what's his name, Anthony Hopkins level. He's going to be incredible.
I'm
I
excited
like him a lot.
to see his new series, Perry Mason. I seen the trailer got released this week, and he mentioned it when he was on with me and Sean a few weeks ago. And they've set it in like an LA noir kind of era, and it looks brilliant. And every clip he's in, you just, even though they're only like 2 seconds long, you just look and you just think, Jesus, he's brilliant, man.
Yeah,
I
he's
think.
got it.
And going off Gavin and Stacey, the actor for you would be Antonio Banderas. What was it?
Weirdly enough, I watched just to really pick my mood up, Philadelphia the other week, and I didn't realize that Antonio Banderas was in it. Yeah, he's a good actor. I'll have that. Yeah, fine, thank you.
He's good. He's
from the Costa del Sol, isn't he? Yeah, I'm gonna take that. Thanks for the compliment.
Welcome.
He also plays Puss in Boots in
Yes, he
Shrek,
does.
so
Yeah, he does.
In Boots.
He's got such range.
Right, Matt. Thanks very much for coming on the podcast. It's been great having you on. I hope everything's all right in lockdown there up in London, and you're staying safe. But we can't let you go without doing our special Tuesday Club Up and Under with Matt Johnson. You ready?
Ready, born ready. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, here we go. Quick fire answers, no ambiguity, straight away. Whiskey or gin?
Whiskey.
Football or rugby?
Rugby, always.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Cardiff or London?
Cardiff.
TV or film?
Film.
Sun or ski?
Sun.
Postcode Lottery advert or Take Me Out?
Postcode Lottery advert.
Eamon Holmes or Philip Schofield?
Eamon Holmes.
Straight answer, straight to the day. Matt Johnson, you've been a legend. It's great to see you, boy.
Lovely to see you too. Diolch yn fawr, boys. This is a great show.
Sean.
Congratulations.
Cheers, John. Cheers, Matt. Thank you very much for coming on today, mate. It's been brilliant.
My pleasure.
Wales. Hwyl fawr.
Wales.
See you guys. Speak soon, Kyle.
See you, boys. Take care,
Bye.
boys.
Ta-ra.